The High Court in Christchurch has heard emotional testimony from those inside the Ashburton Work and Income office at the time of the fatal shooting. The trial of Russell Tully is continuing. He's charged, of course, with the murder of Peggy Noble and Lee Cleveland and attempted murder of two of their colleagues. Tully was removed from court this morning after yet another outburst.
It's apparent that you will not desist,
Trial fixing by judge.
not remain quiet in court and therefore allow the trial to continue as it should.
Well, you give me my legal obligations. You give me
Tully, will you remain quiet, please?
medical help. You give me a lawyer so I can carry on.
All right, thank you.
Everyone will be happy.
Correction staff, you can remove Mr. Tully.
Once Mr. Tully was removed, court proceedings continued with the jury hearing from some of the Crown's key witnesses. Our reporter Sally Murphy has been in court. Hi Sally, what did those witnesses say today?
Well, within the last hour, we've heard from Kim Adams, who, of course, was a WINZ employee. She was there on the day of the shooting. She got very emotional as she recalled what happened. She said she was down the back of the office when she heard an explosion, and as she turned towards the reception area, she saw, of course, the gunman wearing a balaclava. She says she just went into shock and her body felt like lead. She said that she turned to escape and run into another room, and she felt a gush of wind across her face. And of course we heard in the Crown's opening address last week that in fact was a bullet that the gunman had fired at her. She said once she got into another room, she was able to see the gunman walking around the office, and she heard about 3 more shots before she ran outside the building. We also heard from Lucy Wallace. She was a young woman who was in line at the reception when she saw the gunman walk into the office. She says that he walked straight past her and she witnessed him pull his gun up to the receptionist Peggy Noble and of course fire the fatal shot. She says she immediately ran out of the office, and while she was running across the road she also heard 3 or 4 more gunshots. She also got emotional, and as she recalled her last moment in the office, her last memory being that of Peggy Noble screaming. The court also heard from the security guard at the office, Neville Tahiri. He says that he didn't see the gunman walk into the office, but he noticed the balaclava wearing man go up to Peggy Noble, and he also witnessed her being shot. He says he also, with the other people in the reception line, ran out of the office and tried to get help. He says after a few minutes he saw the gunman leave the office and he decided to go back in. When he did, he heard Lindy Curtis screaming, "My leg, my leg." Of course, we've heard that she has been shot in her leg, and he heard other caseworkers in the office cursing and screaming for someone to call the police.
Sally, we heard audio just before we crossed to you of Tully being removed from court. Was he back in court to hear any of these witnesses give testimony against him?
No, well, he was asked at lunchtime again if he wanted to return to court, as has happened in the last week as well, but he declined. As we heard his outburst, he was kicked out within 3 minutes of the court proceedings beginning this morning. Justice Manda addressed the jury like he did last week after another outburst, that they should ignore Mr Tully's behaviour and just focus on the evidence at hand.